able to get in the ring. But as soon as I strike out and start hitting people, everything come back. But in this fight, my heart wouldn't even get high. I'm like, I'm too calm. I need to walk on. The fight out there, you know what? You have to watch your warriors. You have to watch your warriors that you bring up. You got to have the right people around you all the time to make sure that everything is right.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, the voice you just heard was two-division world champion, former undisputed cruiserweight world champion, former two-time heavyweight undisputed world champion, superstar boxer, Hall of Famer, iconic, Evander the Real Deal Holyfield. Now, Evander Holyfield, he weighs in on the entire situation that took place with Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American Heavyweight World Champion, superstar boxer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and what took place in Deontay Wilder's then highly anticipated trilogy match to the first fight that ended in a draw with rival undefeated two-time heavyweight world champion British superstar boxer TYSON the Gypsy King Fury, in which Deontay Wilder, he says, there was an issue with his water. And from the moment he stepped in the ring in the beginning, he didn't feel right. He felt like there was something off. Okay? So Deontay Wilder, he says, I didn't feel myself. I didn't feel my legs. I felt completely off from myself. And I said to myself, okay, here we go. Now, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, they fought the first time. It ended in a draw, which saw Deontay Wilder knock down Tyson Fury twice in the fight. With that said, Deontay Wilder, he lost the second fight via seventh round stoppage with his former trainer, Mark Breland, who threw in the towel in the seventh round. With that said, Deontay Wilder, he cited that, the fact that he just didn't know where he was. He just didn't feel himself. He felt completely, out of body, to a degree, right? He just didn't feel himself, okay? He was asked why wasn't his legs there from the first round, in which he told Yahoo Sports, and he stated that, he don't know what it was. Maybe it was the fact that it was his suit was too heavy. So he himself was seeking reasonings for why his legs just wasn't there, okay? And everybody took the situation, the comments he made about the suit maybe have been too heavy, and took it and ran with it and said, well, his reasoning for saying that his legs was gone was because his suit was too heavy, okay? So Deontay Wilder himself had been seeking out information as to why his legs wasn't there, okay? With that said, this is Evander Holyfield going into a fight that he had, and he stated that you can completely see from the very beginning that Deontay Wilder wasn't himself, completely from the beginning. But watch this, not just Evander the Real Deal Holyfield. Let's look at this.
Wilder, something was wrong with him. I said it when I seen the fight right away. Since before he got dropped, I said something's wrong with him. His legs were not the same. His legs were completely out. So I want to feel that something was wrong with him.
So what you just heard is the voice of well-renowned trainer, former world champion, Robert Garcia. Now, you heard Robert Garcia as well say that he knew from the very beginning, from the opening bell, that something was wrong with Deontay Wilder and his legs was gone, okay? And he stated that you can clearly see that something was wrong, and, he says that his legs wasn't there, okay? So when Deontay Wilder says that, something happened with his water, okay, and he parted ways with his longtime trainer, and everybody immediately stated that he's just making up excuses because he just simply lost to the better man. Well, now you hear Evander Holyfield, he's giving an example of a fight that he was in, okay? Evander Holyfield, he stated in the fight that he was in, he stated that he got in the ring and he said, whoa, wait a minute, something is not right here. He says, okay, that's not the first time that he got in the ring and something's not right. He says, but then once we start exchanging punches, once I get hit or he gets hit, it's you snap right back. He says, but in this instance, he never snapped back. And he says that his heart rate wouldn't even get up. He said he couldn't get excited. He couldn't get his heart rate up. He says that, after the fight, come to find out, something happened with his water. And then Evander Holyfield is saying, so from now on, I'm sending Deontay Wilder advice that you have to watch out for your water, okay? Because you never know what could happen with your water. You have to have the right people around you to make sure that everything's on the up and up, because things happen within the sport of boxing. So now you have two well-renowned people in the sport of boxing that feel like Deontay Wilder has a leg to stand on when he's saying that something was wrong, okay? And he has a case. So with that said, Evander Holyfield is saying that he believes Deontay Wilder will win the trilogy match. He says you don't forget how to box overnight. He says right now I could climb back in the ring, I could get touched, and I immediately, my boxing knowledge, my boxing skills are going to come back. Now, obviously, he's older, so is his reflexes going to be there? Is his power, his strength, his speed going to be there? Maybe not. Okay, but you don't forget how to box is what Evander Holyfield said. So Evander Holyfield saying that you look at Deontay Wilder in the second fight, it looked like he completely forgot how to box. Whether you gave him simply just a puncher's chance or you gave him, credit for being a boxer. He says, but you don't fall, from where you was, against Luis Ortiz and against Tyson Fury the first time and against other fighters to simply looking like a guy that just absolutely can't box and never boxed before. So he stated that, these things happen within the sport of boxing. So it's not far-fetched what Deontay Wilder is saying. He says that he completely expects Deontay Wilder to be a completely different guy going into the trilogy match. Now, obviously, nobody was there, but this is what Deontay Wilder felt what took place. And now it resorts back to the glove situation where, you look at the gloves and you can completely see that the gloves look like a flat tire, okay? And so Evander Holyfield, is saying that, you have to pay attention to everything that goes on in the sport of boxing when you're stepping in the ring. There's a reasoning that you have boxing commissions. There's a reasoning that the opposing trainers have to stay in the locker room while you get your hand wraps. If everything is on the up and up, then why do you have opposing trainers coming into the opposite fighter's locker room to make sure that everything is on the up and up when they wrapping their hands? Because this is a sport that everybody's looking to gain an advantage. You're looking to have an advantage. So Evander Holyfield, he completely lets it be known that this took place with him. Okay, this happened in his career. This happened in a fight that he had. He says that he couldn't get emotional. He couldn't get high. He couldn't get low. He simply just didn't have any emotion. Okay, he was completely numb to what was going on. Now he still won the fight based off of muscle memory, but at the end of the day, he was just running off of muscle memory. Okay, he just wasn't in the fight. He wasn't present. Okay, so he says he could not even get his heart rate up. So he says that he couldn't get his heart rate up. So Evander Holyfield says that it's not out of the realm. It's not out of the possibility that Deontay Wilder has a leg to stand on because it happened to him in the sport of boxing. So how many stories, we never heard this Evander Holyfield story. Not too many people, if any, heard this story that took place with Evander Holyfield in one of his fights. Now, we know the well-publicized events that took place, the Miguel Cotto's, Antonio Margarito, Shane Mosley, Luis Resto, Panama Lewis, those situations, most recently we know a Shaki Foster, opponent Miguel Roman was going to have gloves with no padding in them. We know these high, profile stories that have been well publicized. But here's the situation where Evander Holyfield is telling a story that maybe not too many people knew about, okay? And how many other stories are out there with the thousands, hundreds of thousands of boxers that participate within the sport of boxing? Maybe not on the highest level. We saw the situation where Marcos Maidana attempted to use gloves that had no padding in them against Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather is such a high-profile fighter in the sport of boxing that, we know that it's going to be well publicized. We know Muhammad Ali, he stated that Sonny Liston put some on his glove and rubbed, and it went in his eye. Okay. So these things happen in the sport of boxing. So Evander Holyfield is just letting it be known that Deontay Wilder is not far-fetched with what he's saying, because this happened to him as well. And then you have well-renowned trainers that's witnessing the fight just like everybody else, and he's looking on. And as he's looking on, he's saying, well, this guy doesn't look the same. This don't look like the same guy. He looks like something's wrong from the opening bell. This is what, Robert Garcia is a well-renowned trainer in the sport of boxing. He says this guy just simply didn't look himself. So it's not far-fetched. So there you have it. Evander Holyfield tells a story where his water was tampered with, and, he could have lost the fight. So let's see how everything unfolds and plays out. July 24th, we're going to get the highly anticipated trilogy match. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the Real Deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.